This lesson is going to be all about chord progressions, about how to identify them, the most popular ones, the ones that you need to know, how to see them on a chord chart. But first, we should probably start with defining what is a chord progression. We can think of a chord progression as the foundation for all of Western music, and it's simply a succession of chords that are put in order. This can be as little as 2, because you need 2 chords for a chord progression, even though there are one chord songs. But you can also have a lot more, 7, 8, 9, 20. Off the top of my head, I think the song that we've done with the most chords was 22 chords. 2 types of chord progressions we have. We have diatonic, meaning all the chords come from the same key, and non-diatonic, meaning we take chords from other keys or we borrow from other keys. We're going to primarily focus on diatonic chords today because that is the majority of chord progressions, but we will touch on a couple non-diatonic progressions so you can see examples of those as well. Kind of reminds me of the 3 little bears, right? Baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. Printable tabs becoming a Patreon for this lesson, links in the notes. We do new ukulele every Wednesday and Saturday, so subscribe if you like this kind of content. So the way that we communicate chord progressions musically is through a system of Roman numerals. If we look at this chord chart here, we're going to focus primarily on the key of C as well, because no sharps, no flats, and those are the easiest chords for the ukulele player. So let's look at a basic progression looking at this that is a 1, 4, 5. Our key is the row and the Roman numerals are the columns. So we can see in the key of C, 1 would be C, 4 would be F, and 5 would be G. 1, 4, 5. So you can use these key charts to identify the key. First thing you do is look for the row that has all the chords in the song that you're playing. Then after that, you can assign the Roman numerals to it. And you just find the column and assign the Roman numeral. So let's do an example of how to use this chord chart to do this. Well, let's think of the song Last Kiss by Pearl Jam. Last Kiss has a G, E minor, C, and D. What row has these 4 chords? Well, C has a G and a C and an E minor, but it has a D minor, so it's not C. D has a D, a G, and an E minor, but it doesn't have a C. G has a G, E minor, C, and D. So we're in the key of G. If we look at each of those chords in its column, we see G is a 1, E minor is a 6, C is a 4, and D is a 5. So we can describe Last Kiss as a 1, 6, 4, 5 in the key of G. 1, 6, 4, 5. Oh, where has my baby gone? Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. 1, 6, 4, 5. 1, 6, 4, 5. I encourage you to repeat that exercise with as many songs as you can, all the songs you know. This is also how you transpose a song, because once you know the Roman numerals, you can play it in any key. Let's say hypothetically the key of G is too high for my voice, and I want to bring it down G, G flat, F, E, E flat to the key of D. I simply look at the D row, and I find 1, 6, 4, 5. 1 would be D, 6 would be B minor, 4 would be G, and 5 would be A. Oh, where can my baby be? Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. Much better for my voice, and a great way for you to start to find keys of songs that fit your voice better. A lot of times maybe you're frustrated because you feel like you can't sing, but you're just singing the song in the key of the writer. You have to find your vocal range in the key that works best for your voice, and singing will become much easier. Now let's look at some of the most popular chord progressions of all time. We've already seen one. It's the 1, 4, 5. And I'm going to be playing all of these in the key of C, so that way our ear can kind of distinguish them a little more. But let's go ahead and listen again to the 1, 4, 5. One of the most common progressions of all time, and one of the strongest resolutions of all time. 1, 4, 5. We can make it even stronger by going 1, 4, make that 5 a 7, G7, and back to 1. In major keys, if you want, you can make the 5 chord a dominant chord or a 7 chord. There is a difference between a G7 and a G major 7. And maybe we'll talk about that today, maybe not. But just know for your 5, you can make it a 7 chord. 1, 4, 5, 7. Now we can flip that progression around and play it the other way and play a 5, 4, 1, which is also very popular and powerful. This one starts on the tension and falls down to the resolution, and it has a nice falling quality with the melody. One of the most popular progressions of all time is the 1, 5, 6, 4. If we look at our chord chart, 6 is the A minor. 1, 5, 6, 4, and 1, 5, 6, 4. Mother Mary, come to me. We see this in all different types of music. With a cool one now, I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. There's a funny video on YouTube of a rock band poking fun at basically every song using this chord progression. So check it out in the notes. I'll link it up there. It's a good time, and you can see a lot of songs that use this. Staying with these 4 chords, another really popular progression would be the 1, 6, 4, 5. 1, 6, 4, 5. We already did one example of this in the key of G with Last Kiss. If I change the rhythm though as well, and I stay on 1 for 2 measures, 6 for 2 measures, 1, 4, 1, 5, and back to 1, I get when the night has come and the land is dark and the light from the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid, and so on and so on. And that's another good example. When we look at that progression, we see it's 2 measures of the 1, 2 measures of the 6, just 1 of the 4, 1 of the 5, and another 2 of the 1. So as you're developing chord progressions, you don't need to make every single chord the same length. Not every chord has to be 4 beats or 1 measure or 2 measures. Chords can even be just a single beat, like the walk down for Let It Be. F, E minor, D minor, C. Those chords are 2 beats, 1 beat, 1 beat, 2 beats. So in your own songwriting, keep that in mind, experiment with it, and have fun. The quintessential jazz progression is known as a 2-5-1. It's the first time seeing the 2 chord, and it's the D minor in the key of C. I will use, for the 5 chord here, I'm going to use the 7 chord as well. So instead of G, we'll use G7. Sunday morning, Sunday morning is a great example of this in addition to jazz. So you can find it in pop as well. Another thing to keep in mind is chords can repeat themselves. So you may see something, for example, like a 1, 4, 5, 4. 1, 4, 5, 4. Joker by Steve Miller Band is a good example of this, with the bass groove and everything like that. Some other popular examples of this chord progression would be, let's do one more. This is the 6, 2, 5, 1. A minor, 2 is our D minor, 5 is our G, and 1. We get. Nice melancholy sound. So far from what we've done today, you should be able to analyze your favorite songs, put Roman numerals to the progressions, be able to see what key they're in. You should also be able to transpose them to find keys that are better for your voice. But another thing you can do with this, with your friends, is practice your ear training. We're going to do this in the key of C. I'm going to put 5 chord progressions up. I'm going to play through one, and then use your ear and see if you can identify which one it is. One thing that's going to help you while you're listening, if you have done our other ear training exercises, is you should be distinguishing major and minor first. When you're listening, go, is that a major chord or a minor chord? And as you do that, you'll be able to whittle it down and find which one it is. You can say, oh, that second chord was a minor chord, so it must be. Or that third chord was a major chord, so it must be. That will really help. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll link those in the notes now. Okay, first one's up. Let's go ahead and play through it. Again, these are all in the key of C. Okay, go ahead and hit pause if you want some time to figure it out. If you're ready, let's go ahead and continue forward. So you shouldn't have heard any minor chords. They were all majors, which helps us a little bit, right? Also, the last chord played 2 times in a row. That should help us a little bit too. We can see that it was our 1, 4, 5. Now, normally, you're not going to see it written like 1, 4, 5, 5. That's something to keep in mind. But it did help us here that it hung out on that last chord for twice as long. So even though we heard 4 strum patterns, it was only 3 chords. And that would help with the process of elimination, because it couldn't have been any of the 4 chord possibilities because we only heard 3 chords. So once we hear that, we say, okay, it's 3 chords. They're all minors. It really can only be one of 2 options. And between the 1, 4, 5 and the 4, 5, 1, we can deduce it was the 1, 4, 5. Again, this is a game that you should play with your friends, all right? Play it in different keys. You do this, and your ear training, your ability to listen, will go through the roof. Let's go ahead and do the next example. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we listened through that, and what did we hear? We heard 4 chords, so we know that it was a progression with 4. Start there. We heard major, major, minor, major. So we hear 4 different chords. We hear that it goes major, major, minor, major. So through deduction, we can say that that would be our 1, 5, 6, 4. All right, you're doing good. You're doing good so far. I think anyways. Maybe you're not. But if you're not, that's okay. Repeat, watch, play this game with your friends. You will get better over time. Let's go. Okay, number 3. Okay, so we heard 3 chords, right? If we listen, our first chord is minor. The next one, it's not a minor, it's a 7 chord. It's a dominant chord. So which of these options starts with a minor? Boom. Has a dominant? Boom. Has 3 chords? It's our 2, 5, 1. All right, very good. All right, next one. Here we go. Okay, remember to hit pause right now if you want some time to figure it out. And if you're ready, here we go. Major, minor, major, major. 4 chords. The order goes major, minor, major, major. So which one of those options is it? It is our 1, 6, 4, 5. When the night has come. All right, very good. Okay, so let's do one more. And as you can see, we have more than 5 options up there. I did that because we're not going to hit them all. Okay, so here is our last ear training exercise for the day. It sounds like this. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pause if you need some time, want to play with them. But you ready to break it down? Here we go. We hear major, 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 major. But if you're really careful in listening, the second chord and the 4 chord are the same chord. So if we look for any one that has a repeating of the chord and we find our 1, 4, 5, 4, or we see the 4 is repeated, that would be what we just played there. So there you go. That's an ear training game exercise that you can play with your friends in addition to major and minor. So now you can analyze your favorite chord progressions. You can transpose them and find keys that work better for you. You can see which ones of these work with popular songs, seen some examples, and you know a great ear training game with your friends. Chord progressions, that's all you need to know, my friends. Now, you can take them to the next level with non-diatonic ideas, meaning chords borrowed from other keys. An example of that may be something like C, E7, A7, A7. Well, that's the key of C, but the 3 chord E minor was turned into a dominant chord. 6 chord A minor was turned into a dominant chord. So you get 1, 3, 7, 6, 7, 2, 6, 7, 2, 2, 4, flat, 5 dominant, 1, 6, and then instead of a minor 2, you get dominant 2 again. So all the minors became dominants. So you can see there are more complex and more advanced examples of chord progressions as well. We just covered the basic ones. Again, the diatonic ones, meaning chords that are made up naturally from the key. So if you want a non-diatonic video, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. And until next time, have a lovely day. Subscribe and learn. Think about becoming a Patreon. New Ukulele Wednesday and Saturday. Take care. Have a lovely day. Peace.